And welcome to excuse me, Module 2 preview for MSOM 612, coming to you today from my office. And for those of you who've been watching videos with me for a while, you've noticed that I still haven't done anything with my office, so I'm not here enough to be able to do that. So let's talk about Module 2. Module 2 is focused on external analysis. And while I'm filming this, it's when all the rain and everything else, and the Hurricane Harvey and everything's going on in Houston, just a few hours south of me. And when you think about external threats that happen in organizations that you have to make sure that you take advantage of, or take care of, or understand. Certainly the weather is one of those things that you have no control over, but you have to plan for. And I'm thinking about some of the refineries and other things that are down there. I'm sure that if they were worth their salt, they had contingency plans in the event of any type of catastrophic weather pattern. So external analysis includes those things that you have no control over. And so you're going to be reading about that in Chapter 3 this week as you assess opportunities and threats. So if you think about SWOT analysis, this is the OT in SWOT analysis, opportunities and threats. The discussion board this week talks about, and I don't know, maybe you haven't heard of this term before, but it talks about showrooming. And that's where a consumer will go to a particular store, if you will, check things out there, just put their hands on it, see if they like it, and then go back home and go on to Amazon and buy it. You think about that for Best Buy. You think about that for a company I'm going to have you do in the discussion board, Barnes & Noble. I did this week. I don't know if I should feel bad about this or not. I don't feel bad about it, but should I feel bad about it? I think you all know I like to travel, so here in a couple weeks I'm going to be going to Japan and South Korea, and I needed some travel books. And so I went to Barnes & Noble to look at them, to see how they were formatted and set up, and then went out, got in my car, and ordered them from Amazon for a lot less money, and got them the next day. Some of them I could get same day here in Dallas. And so that's the concept known as showrooming. And I've asked you that if you became the CEO of Barnes & Noble, what would you do? What are some options? What would you do to react to that? Now again, you have to think beyond the pale on this one. You can't just say, I'm going to price match, because again, Amazon doesn't have the cost structure that a physical bricks and mortar location would have. So think deeply about this to see, if you were the CEO of Barnes & Noble, what would you do? This is obviously a threat from the OT perspective, a threat to Barnes & Noble. And so showrooming is really a kind of an interesting concept. I want you to take a look at that this week. The course project has you develop an external analysis for the company that you selected, and to look at those things that are going on outside the company that represent both a threat and an opportunity. Make sure that you're very specific on these. Just don't throw things out like saying competitive environment. I mean, be specific about who the competitors are, why they present a competitive issue. Talk about the threats, talk about the opportunities in good specifics, okay? And then the journal this week. I want to make a couple of comments on the journal, and perhaps I wasn't incredibly clear on this in the instructions. But you're going to make 2 journal comments. You make your initial one, and then I'm going to respond to your journal comment. And then I just want you to respond to my response, okay? And so make sure that you do that. A few of you didn't do that in the first one, and so if it happens to more than one person, I'm thinking my instructions weren't that clear. So I didn't count off for it for you this week, but I will in subsequent weeks, because you're hearing this, right? But the journal is for this week is talking about Porter's 5 forces, and I wanted you to take that and to apply it to a personal strategic plan. What type of external forces are you facing today as you look to move to the next level, as you look to do other things in your life? Are there those things that are external forces that will impact your ability to reach your goals, your personal goals, and your personal objectives going forward? Okay. The first week on the journal's just pretty basic because I just want you to get used to doing that. But let's not make this too technical. I mean, this is a dialogue between you and I. Let's pretend we're sitting there having coffee and you're saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this in my career. Here's some challenges that I'm facing. What do you think? And I could give you some of my thoughts and some of my comments. All right? Week 1 is down. Week 2 coming up here in your final class. If you need me, make sure you reach out and chat with me. All right? Take care.